let it be known that myself is here, Mr. Harding, Vice President, and member Mr. DeHart, along with Mr. Lagarde, Mr. Voisin, Superintendent Ogeron and his staff, Mr. Ford, and also Dr. Kluche.
Mr. Harding just got promoted to vice president, huh?
Mr. Harding?
Yeah, you said he's vice president.
Vice President of the committee?
Vice chairman.
Oh, Vice Chair.
I'm joking.
Vice Chair.
I'm
Vice.
joking.
Close enough.
I was getting your promotion, man.
And we only have informational items, and I would say that would mean a short meeting, but given that we just had a long information item, I don't know how short this meeting is going to be. So we're going to start off with a matter pertaining to assessment and accountability. Dr. Monica Breaux.
Good evening. Today, Mr. Ogeron, Mr. LaRose, and I attended the Academic Goals and Instructional Improvement BESSIE Committee meeting in Baton Rouge. They were discussing and voting on a motion to revise Bulletin 111, which deals with the K-12 accountability system. So we're going to be seeing some changes. So I'm just going to kind of give you a brief overview of what those proposed changes will be, or what they want to be. It does go before BESSIE tomorrow for the final vote. So the proposed accountability formula will be based on 3 fundamental drivers: high expectations, it's going to be simple and transparent, and career and college readiness will be a focus. So there's 3 components to the new formula. There's a growth component, an achievement component, and a thrive component. The growth component is comprised of 3 parts. One is the percent of students who grew at least half of an achievement level in ELA and math. The next one is the percent of students who showed growth from the lowest 25% of the students in the school in ELA and math. And then the percent of students meeting their trajectory target on the ELPT test, which is the English Language Proficiency Test. So those are going to be the 3 components of the growth section. The next one is achievement, and that's just going to be the actual percent of students who scored mastery or above. You know, it's not going to be converted into a different number. We would get a percent of students who were proficient, then it would turn into an index number. Now it's going to be strictly the number of students that are proficient.
So your score is going to be a percentage. The score in every category is simply a percentage. That's hence the clear, more transparent, easier to understand, no index conversion.
No index.
Straight up.
So is the percentage of what?
The number of kids who meet the mark.
Okay, percentage of 100% means everybody meets the mark?
Yes, sir.
And so if...
So
yeah.
if 50% of our kids are proficient, which is mastery and above, our score would be 50% in that category.
No basic.
Basic gets no points. I'd love to really kind of dig into this a little bit deeper when we have time, so you can kind of see visuals of it, but conceptually we just wanted to kind of present kind of where we're at with this formula. Does that help out, Don?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last piece is the thrive piece, which is the high school piece. There's 3 parts to that one. One is the percent of your graduation rate. What is the grad rate? The next one is performance on nationally recognized assessments. We give the ACT. So they're saying that to get credit for this one, they have to have at least a 20 on the ACT or gold on the work keys. And then the last part is the acceleration part. And there are 3 avenues to earn points there. There's the university pathway with some criteria, the career pathway with criteria, and then the service area with criteria. So the state's going to, I'm sorry, that going into the military. They can take that ASVAB, or if they have that letter saying that they have been accepted into the service, that would be a component. So the state's going to identify some cut scores for the letter grading distribution. They're going to determine that once all the scores are in. Looking at a comparison, our current letter grades for our schools, we currently have 4 A's, 16 B's, 9 C's, no Ds or Fs. With the proposed simulated scores that with this new formula, it would show using 2023 data, because we don't have 24 data yet, using last year's data, 1A, 11 Bs, 15 Cs, 2 Ds, no Fs. So you can see it's going to decrease. Our scores are going to decrease. We're also going from an 150-point scale to a 100-point scale. Another heavily weighted component is that ELPT component. It's heavily weighted in this new formula.
And ELP is English
English
language learners, so it's typically kids who speak English as their second language, if they speak it at all. So that's ELP is
ELP.
the test to decide or determine how far they progress with the English language. Sorry, Mark.
No, that's okay. So tomorrow it's going to go before Bessie for the final vote. If it passes, the current formula and letter grading system that we're using right now would freeze. It would stay into effect until the 25-26 school year when this new formula would take effect. Because for the 24-25 assessment period, we were supposed to go up where 100 would be the A. Or 150 would, what is it? 100. It would go up to 100 would be the A. But they're going to freeze it if this passes tomorrow, and we'll stay at the current level, which 95 was the A. So we're going to wait and hear tomorrow to see how that outcome is. Just two other things. We have high school retesting. That'll take place June 24th to 27th at each high school. And then LEAP scores are expected to be released the week of July 15th. So just a couple of updates there.
Thank you. Mr. DeHart.
Is it possible for us to get, you gave numbers about how many schools is doing certain things, like A's, B's, C's, whatever, and no D's, whatever. Can we get something in writing to show us each school by school what they had this year and last year? To give us knowledge about what schools I'm not saying struggling, is improving. That's what I'm looking for about the improvements.
It's all
Yeah.
online, yeah.
Okay.
We can download it, that's easy.
I want it in black and white.
Okay.
Not online.
I know you want, but our committee
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
first. Okay. Mr. Harding.
Yes, thank you for the presentation. The retesting, I know you said about the AC, I think the LEAP,
It's
the
LEAP.
retesting is LEAP.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out in my mind, what retesting we were referring
No,
to.
the LEAP retesters, those that didn't pass
Okay.
and may need it to graduate. And those that, they took the course and they failed the LEAP, but they need to have that course for graduation requirements.
Do you have a number on that?
I do have some estimated numbers. I have, Ellender's expecting about 100 retesters. Not to graduate. No, not all. Some of them need it possibly to graduate. That one I don't know.
You
They
don't-
just gave me an approximate number of retesters, and that could be from 9th to 12th grade. South Terrebonne and Terrebonne are expecting about 50, and H.L. Bourgeois about 25.
Okay, thank you.
And again, not all those are seniors. That could be anywhere from 9th to 12th grade.
Okay.
You good, Mr. Harding?
Yeah, I'm finished.
Okay.
I know Gregory
Curious
ain't
to know,
retaking it.
and you probably don't know the answer to this, but that 20 on the ACT, right now, 2023, the state average was 18.4. 18 on the ACT was 19th out of 74 districts in the state. So the actual median is somewhere around 16.2. So, and that's an average for the school and for the districts. How do they expect school districts to have an average of 20 when the state is 18.4? I'm definitely calling Bessie, because I already had a problem with this as it was when we got that email this afternoon about the 75% of the score coming from
LEAP.
LEAP.
For high schools, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
For the high schools, yeah.
So, but just ACT in general. Now listen, I understand some other states have much higher because they start teaching the ACT at 2nd and 3rd grade. And other states like California, they have the California Achievement Test, and then they have, what's the other one, the 1600 SAT.
SAT.
The SAT. So they start, because they focus on that a lot more, but I don't know where they're coming up with this nonsense. We're all struggling, every school district, and we're an exception. We're doing exceptional compared to the other
Right.
districts. I don't remember our average, but it was somewhere around 18.6, 18.8, I think, in
Yeah.
2023.
Yes.
Yeah,
Full screen.
it's ridiculous.
Mr. LaGoy?
Yeah, I would like to know right quick, remember, I know Bessie had talked about
Yeah.
the, and Jeff Landry about everybody don't have to take the ACT. Whatever happened, is that
They,
still on the board?
it's still on the board. They haven't, I think they're waiting to see what Jeff Landry's decision is on that particular bill. It's 762. It's on his
So if
desk.
we don't have to, we could have used other tests,
Mm-hmm.
say, in the place of ACT.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still on the. And another thing I very quick, just for my curiosity, in the district, how many seniors we have that need to graduate?
That one I don't know, but I can get you that number.
And I know there's no, like they said, they don't pass the test out.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah, there's nothing there. They have to pass that.
Now, somebody asked me, could they come back to school? One parent asked me, they finished everything, but can they come back to school the next year?
Typically, no.
Typically,
Yes,
no.
typically, no, they'll just have to test. That's right.
I've had some that come back just to test. When we do testing in the fall, they usually come back.
Okay, you done, Mr. LaGoy? Okay. Dr. Kluche?
For high school, the three areas you talked about, and one of them in making up that was the ACT. And yet, you know, we see coming down from Bessie that they're saying, well, everybody doesn't have to fill out the FAFSA anymore because, you know, not everybody's going to college.
Right.
So what about the students that are career-minded going out of high school? They're not really focused on the ACT because it doesn't really matter. I mean, to them, they're focused on going into a technical trade right out the bat. So it's kind of playing both sides of the field right there.
And they can take the work keys assessment because that's the one for the jumpstart path, the career pathway. But they have to take, right now, they have to take the ACT to be able to take the work keys.
Oh, interesting. And the other question that I had is, you said 100 would be an A, whereas right now 95 is an A. So just to make that perfectly clear, that means 95 is no longer an A. You have to have perfection 100% to get an A.
Well, that's the school performance score. That would be the school performance score, which is based on totally different formulas and indexes that are put into this calculator.
How wonderful.
But if this formula passes tomorrow, then we're going to stay at the 95 for the next school year.
So it gives us a year to figure out how to make the formula work.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So, go ahead. Yeah.
I guess mine's more about concern. I know we have to go through changes. It always
Yeah.
happens. You know, once you figure it out, then we make changes again, and then we got to, run around. But it all goes down to, again, we've all been principals and educators, and so now the principal's going to have to get through training and then bring it to the teachers, and the pressure again from top to bottom. It's like it just never ends. It's like it's just so frustrating. We just want the teachers to teach and leave all this. I'm just going to say, leave it all behind.
Right.
This testing stuff is just, I really get angry with all that. So I'm just expressing my disappointment.
No question, just
Yeah, a little bit of anger.
anger.
On top of that, and this is not our choice, we're being forced to change our teacher evaluation tool, which is a lot more professional development and more change, and it's on top of this accountability change. And if I can say this, if it's okay.
Yeah.
We're not like shying away from accountability. We don't feel that the components of this are fair. There was a concerted effort today by many superintendents in the building, and give testimonies and reasons why we feel it should be delayed, some more questions could be answered and things looked at a little deeper, Bessie was moving straight ahead.
Yeah.
You know, overwhelming opposition that didn't receive favorable response from them. So it's
Maybe we need to, I'm sorry, I'm talking out of turn,
Go ahead.
elect new Bessie members.
Yeah, we've been saying that. So my comment is, we got the information from LSBA today about what was actually going to be discussed in the Bessie meeting and what they're considering. And I got the feeling that they were downplaying the career path students. And you did say that they're elevating the college-ready portion of it. So I'm wondering is, because that was opposite before. It seemed like career path was like their priority for a long time. Workforce, career path, that was all what they were interested in. And is it because they're seeing maybe where we shouldn't be for the college-ready kids with the ones with the ACTs being so low that they decided they have to elevate that portion of it and then decrease the career path? I just feel like we shouldn't decrease any path. You know, we should focus on those that want to be career oriented and focus on the ones that want to be college oriented. Both equally, not one or the other, but it seems like that's what they're doing. They're going one way or the other. That's my comment. Yeah.
There's a lot of the opposition's point as well.
Yeah.
If I can make a comment.
Sure, Mr. Ford.
And it'll sort of answer your question. It's all a money grab. It really is. It's data, so they want the data, and they have special interest groups that push for that so their people can get paid. Universities are all struggling right now because they don't have the enrollment that they used to, and the state is responsible for 90% of universities in Louisiana. So you have UL system, you have the LSU system, you have the LCTC system. They are all looking for a piece of that pie, and they have friends on Bessie and that are influential, and they're saying, hey, you need to do a solid for us and we'll do a solid for you. Until that changes, nothing's going to change. It's going to continue to evolve, but we're kind of put behind the eight ball now because of it. So
Yeah, it's
I just hope
unfortunate.
everyone realizes that, everyone out there, because I don't even think the public has half of the awareness they need to. Thank you.
I agree. Any more board member comments? Yes.
If they eliminate it to, I think Mr. Legault was talking about, to eliminate the ACT, how is it going to substitute that with something else for kids to get their tops?
I really don't know.
But I think you were saying they was talking about eliminating it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they're looking at maybe having a choice whether to take it or not. Like we give it to all 11th graders in the
Okay,
state take
right,
it.
okay.
So maybe a choice could be
Okay.
given there.
Okay, all right then.
That could be a good thing, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Brewer. Okay, matter number 3, matter pertaining to the virtual academy for 24-25 update. Ms. LaRose.
Okay, good evening. I want to start off first by saying thank you to Tricia Corbin and Daryl Dillard, who have done a fantastic job. We've been working collaboratively to make the Virtual Academy and TPSD a reality. So thanks to both of y'all. They've worked many hours. So we're ready. We're ready to roll with it. We had 101 applicants, and we only left it open for a week. And of those 101 applicants, only 85 of them were qualified applicants, because if you remember last time when we came, we said they had to have, not huge attendance issues. They couldn't fail more than one subject. They needed to be on the TOPS track. So some of the people who applied were on the Jump Start track, so right off the top, we had to eliminate them. But the students have been chosen, and we did a percentage of the amount of kids in the program. And right now, we have sent today, Mr. Dillard sent invites and acceptance letters to 35 students who we are saying, you've met the qualifications and we are offering you a spot in the virtual academy. Of those, 20% are from HL, 23% are from Terrebonne, 26% are from Ellender, and 31% are from South Terrebonne. So it's all within just a few students. Terrebonne has 8 students, Ellender is 9, HLB is 7, and South Terrebonne is 11. And it kind of depended upon their reason for applying, how many qualifying people we had from those areas. So it's a good balance of each of the schools being represented. We are going to be having it at Houma Junior High. We have a portable picked out. It's a perfect spot for when the kids have to go to take assessments. Like I said, all the acceptance emails were sent today. We are waiting to hear back from those parents to say whether or not they are accepting their invitation. And then once we hear back from them, by the end of the week, we'll make some phone calls, and we're going to send an email to all of the students who did not get chosen for the program.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. LaGuardia?
I missed some of the meeting. Now, actually, I got a call. Can those kids get accepted still play sports?
Yes, they are going to be attached to their home-based school, and they can participate in anything that they would like to, clubs, athletics. They're still qualifying.
But they have to be in that academy, yes, right? In our.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In some, you know, so I'm sure the parents who called didn't even know because the letters just went out.
Right.
That they kids can play, but I know some people think that they're homeschooling.
That,
I want to play, and I know we don't.
no, no. Because these kids are still Terrebonne Parish school kids who are going to be expected to meet all of the same criteria our kids take all of the assessments and, you know, uphold to standards of discipline and those kinds of things.
What's the format of the virtual going to be with the kids? Are they going to have a live teacher? Or you ever heard of teams with a teacher there?
There is one teacher who is going to oversee all of this, but we have signed a contract with a program, and the kids can get tutoring at any time, 24-hour basically tutoring, that if they have a question about an advanced math class or they have a question about an English 3 class, they can get on and get help from a teacher who is certified in that area.
It'll be like maybe annuity type?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and they're going to take, what, 7 classes?
Well, it depends how many they need. They're going to take whatever courses they need to take.
Yeah, like, I guess we started like if it was a junior, senior.
It's anybody from 9th to 12th grade, and we have a
So
variety
they'll
of
take it-
grades.
I guess from a 10th grade, I'll take my basic 10th grade classes.
Right. And if you're a senior, you may not have as many classes, or you can take the ones that you need to graduate and do some extras.
Now, I guess this question, can I do extra work and finish a course quicker? Or do I have to stay with that, you know, that year-long semi, you know, algebra 2 or something? Can I finish it if I'm rolling? Can I finish it and say, okay, I done finished that, can I get another course?
Yes, that's why I'm looking back, because it's kind of going to be on a case-by-case basis. We discussed it, and if a child is succeeding and they can handle more, we're not going to hold them back. But if it's a child who is struggling to keep afloat, then we may have to support them a little more.
Wait, I have Mr. Borzan.
Yes. So since we had such a huge interest, can we do more of them, or are we just limiting ourselves this year for one class?
This year, we are limiting ourselves to one class, and our hope is that we can offer it to
Several next
as
year,
many
the
people
following.
as choose to do it.
In the classroom, I think it's a pilot, just to work out the kinks, get our feet wet,
Yeah.
and expand it eventually.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And you know, we didn't talk about it, maybe next year, 2 classes, 3 classes, and so forth, so, yeah, let's see how it works out. Let's see.
Right.
Mr. Ford? Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Ford?
having experience with virtual kids or from an alternative setting, I would encourage you guys, and I hope that it's already been looked at with whatever company we go with, to have the browser lock enabled and installed, because I've physically seen students complete a year-long course in a matter of 10 or 12 weeks because of Google and Quizlet and things like that. So if they can browser lock those, especially when they're doing assignments, if it's during reading or, you know, just normal everyday type work, that's different. But when they're doing quizzes or assessments, not the ones that they go to campus for, of course, those are proctored. But I'm saying the ones from home, just quizzes and assignments, Google is their best friend, and the answers come up like that. And it's just something that I have seen students complete 2 or 3 courses in a year, like at the same time, in addition to their other 4 or 5 courses, but it's with the help of Google, of course. So.
Right. And so they could get help from Google, they could get help from another sibling, they could get help from a friend for assignments, but what's going to catch them is that they have to go on campus to take the assessments that they're going to be graded on.
Mr. Harding?
One question, transportation, they'll be responsible on transportation?
They're on their own for transportation. That was in the notice that went out. It's in the handbook that we are not providing transportation for.
Okay, and I know it's one of them catch 'em deals. I mean, some people can't, get their kids there, so, but you can't, I guess, solve all different scenarios, so I was just curious.
And they're not, I mean, that's a great comment, because they're not all going to campus at the same time. They're not being picked up at one time going to campus. If you guys are in that class, you might be going on Tuesdays at 8:30, you might be going on Wednesdays at 2 o'clock. You're going to be able to pick, those kids are going to be able to pick what's convenient for them to go in and take assessments. They're going to sign up for those times, so.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Lagarde?
You know, I guess this is a pretty simple question. Like a kid wanna stop and say, look, it's not working for me, I wanna go back to regular school, children can do that.
No, they can't.
Okay.
No, because it's not going to be this fluid thing going back and forth. We are going to closely monitor them, and if they are not keeping up, then we're going to put them back in.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, so they can, if they're not keeping up,
we can put them back in. Yes, we're not gonna allow them to get to the point where they're failing and we just let them sit there and do nothing. If you're not keeping up with your assignments, you are going to be put back at your home-based school. We're going to give them the first 3 weeks in it, and if they see that this is not for me, I can't do this, I can't keep up, then we're going to have conversations with them to see if they want to go back. I will tell you, we already had one parent that sent Mr. Dillard an email today declining. We also have several of our parents who had put in their application that they needed a phone call because they had questions, and their questions, like they were just like, I just want to know more, what is it? Well, they applied for something that they had no idea what they were even applying for, so they were like, oh no, that's not what I want. I had one just to where we called yesterday because it was a child we were going to accept, great grades in the gifted program, and we're like, we're wondering why he would want to change. He's doing so well in the traditional learning setting. So we called, and the mom put him on the phone, or the stepmom put him on the phone, and he said, I don't want to do that. She applied for me, but I want to go to school. I do great in school. So I think we may have a few more of those where moms or dads or grandma, somebody signed that application and the child is not really wanting to do it. So we'll address that as it comes.
Well, I applaud y'all for putting this together. I think it's a long time coming. We needed this, and I can only see it growing. And as I said, I can see that in the college setting right now, that it's very well received, and more so every year we have our college students selecting online classes rather than on-campus classes. And we're doing it right. I mean, we're addressing the high school students with this. We're not offering it to anybody else. So it's kids that are going to be NTOPS oriented, so it's going to be the ones that are going to be going into college anyway, and they're going to have this exposure before they get there, which is going to be even better for them.
We're hoping to better prepare them. And
Yeah.
again, you know, Mr. Dillard and Ms. Carbon have worked endless hours, and we will continue to support the program because we are not going to let it fail. It's not, we don't want people to think it's virtual like we did when we were out of school. They are going to be closely monitored and charted every single day by a teacher from our district who is going to ensure their success or they're going back into that classroom. And all of this is going to be very clear at a meet and greet that we are doing, an orientation that we have scheduled toward the end of the summer with parents and the students who are going to come and hear, this is what you're required to do, and if you don't do it, this is what's going to happen. So we're going to make that real clear to the families that have chosen it.
That's great. Thank you, Ms. LaRose.
Okay, thank y'all.
Okay, item number 4, last item on the agenda, matter pertaining to departmental messages in a minute. And first up is Mr. Dillard with College and Career Center.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Just want to kind of give you guys an update on the plans for the College and Career Center. Even though the physical move is about 2 years out, waiting on buildings to be prepared and ready for the move in, we're still behind the scenes meeting and planning for giving our kids of Terrebonne Parish more opportunities starting this upcoming fall. Just today I had a meeting at Fletcher where we're going to partner with, for what we're currently already partnered with Fletcher, and we're going to meet with Nichols next. And some of the things we were talking about today is how can we align TCT's curriculum with Fletcher's curriculum, so when those kids go through TCT for maybe, let's say, 2 years, they can follow up at Fletcher if they choose to, and the curriculum aligns so they can finish their pathway in terms of getting out a technical diploma or LCTCS certificate of completion. That way they don't have to start over when they decide to go to college or Fletcher if they decide to do that. One of the things that we're asking for help with is some job shadowing opportunities. We talked about having some of our nursing students actually doing some job shadowing at Terrebonne General, our health system. They have a program that we're going to try to align that with theirs. We also would like to have some of their instructors, especially, we picked out about 4 areas today. Let's say, for example, welding. Let's have Fletcher instructors meet with our welding instructors and have them do some PD together. So therefore, there's a pipeline of the same curriculum, the same skills, the same use of equipment, the same credentials from high school to the technical college. So those are some of the things that we've been talking about today, and we could actually start aligning these curriculum as early as this upcoming fall, depending on what we have in place and what we need to adjust. So even though we may not be moving physically into a College and Career Center, we are currently preparing to start that process as early as this coming fall. We've already applied for our apprenticeship program, so we're going to start that with welding. Once we get the approval and go through the whole, I know it's a process, but we already have applied. We plan on moving forward with that as well. And then lastly, I want to just kind of mention, we're definitely going to increase our dual enrollment participation with both Nichols and Fletcher, so those kids can get those college credits while they're in high school, as well as figure out a way to get some of the fast forward tracks going, especially we're going to start on the welding side of things where they can work towards their technical diplomas, their associate's degrees, or things of that nature. And that's kind of down the line, but that's some of our interests in terms of preparing our kids in Terrebonne Parish to have more options. So when they graduate high school, whichever route they decide to take, they have opportunities now that they didn't have before.
Very good. Mr. Dillard, in regard to the job shadowing and even potential internship for these students. A good resource for you could be the Chamber Education Committee.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever gone to those committees. I know the superintendent has. I've attended. Mr. Hamner, when he was on the board, would go as well. But they are focused on the industry collaboration with education, and they have already identified a lot of job shadowing opportunities.
Okay.
They do that signing program for kids at the end of the year. They do a lot of what you're trying to do with this College and Career Center. So maybe becoming a member of that committee and, meeting with them. I think they meet once a month. That might be a good start for you.
I'll be interested in seeing what that's about. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yes, Mr. DeHoy.
Mr. Dillard, you mentioned the medical thing with Terrebonne in general, and then welding. At Skills USA this year, we were very competitive in other areas too, carpentry, electrical, and other things.
Correct.
Is that any option? too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I'm glad you mentioned that.
It's
That was a
not
good question.
limited to that.
So electrical, health science, nursing, machinists, and welding is our focus.
Yeah.
Getting those departments together, aligned with credentials, aligned with curriculums, aligned with everything else that industry needs and has,
Yeah.
as well as the 2 universities we're going to partner with.
Air conditioning is with electrical or not?
Not initially.
No.
That's our starting point.
Because I know a bunch of companies that are looking for people in the air conditioning besides us, is what I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
That's why I was asking.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
No problem.
Anyhow?
Also, I know, Mr. Gillette, I think the school board, I know a while back, I used to be on the TPSDBoard, and I know one time we had that connection, and it was trying to go in that same direction. And on the TPSDBoard, but I think the local one too, different kids, they job sharing. I think these two in the chamber have the same goal in common.
Yeah, they actually participate in the chamber education too.
Some of the members on TPSDB also in the chamber board.
Yeah.
I converse with Ms. Terrio, that's on the teeter organization, quite frequently, along as with Ms. Laura from Louisiana Workforce Connection. So we have been having conversations, and we do have an ongoing once a month, once every other month meeting to try to touch base, and so everybody's being on board with trying to move us forward.
Mr. Ford?
I'm glad you mentioned Louisiana Workforce Commission because they have grant funding that they can definitely help out with. When I was at Delgado, we worked with them a lot because they had some grant funding. So definitely include them in your advisory committee and let's get some of that money for our students, of course.
Thank you.
Do we still have a grant person on board here? Okay, great. Yeah, give her that. Thank you, Mr. Dillard. Appreciate it. Last but not least, we have Dr. Yarbrough, update on personnel. Hello.
Good evening. I just wanted to bring to your attention that we're doing well in our efforts to get more certified teachers. We don't have all the data for this upcoming school year yet, but I can tell you that September 5th, 2023, we had 136 uncertified teachers, 87% of certified teachers. We ran data on May 23rd, 2024. We had 90% certified teachers. We had 107 uncertified teachers, but 55 of those teachers are eligible for temporary authority to teach. Right now, we have only 36 teachers that are not certified or on practitioner licenses on our hire slips so far. And of these 36, all of them are enrolled in some type of alternative certification program. So the demand has been that if you want me to put you on the hire slip, you have to provide me with documentation that you've enrolled in an alternative certification program and that you're working toward that praxis exam so that they can become eligible for the practitioner license.
Are we paying for that? The system is paying for
Yes.
the certifications?
Yes, we do
Okay.
provide some tuition reimbursement. We pay for their praxis exams when they pass those.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions? Thank you very much. And we are adjourned for the night.